Okay. You will have seen a few days ago the European Council published their draft negotiation directives for the transition period. Can you say which of those we would not accept and would like to amend?
I've avoided the so-called leaked guidelines until they conclude in Monday, Tuesday, after the General Affairs Council. I take all of these things as opening negotiating positions, frankly, and we will only engage when they get to the final one.
Okay. Where do you expect there will be argument between ourselves and the European Union about?
Well, there may be argument. There may be argument over the issue of doing outside negotiations. There may well be an argument over that. In truth, we've tried to devise our approach so it visibly does no harm to the European Union in any way whatsoever. But there are people within the Union who want to restrict any advantage for us. So you may well see arguments there. That's one possible position.
Okay, and in terms of red lines, I mean, you were clear about the red lines in terms of the future arrangement, but I take it none of those red lines apply during the transition period. Do you have any red lines?
The transition is different. Look, I am relaxed about transition because my primary concern is about the future relationship. That's what matters. That's what people will think about and judge us on in 10, 20, 30 years' time. They won't be saying, oh, in that 2 years they did this. They'll be saying, actually, Davis did a terrible job. He left us all tied up with the regulatory structure here, there and everywhere. Or they'll say, they did a great job because now we've got fantastic trade development, whatever. That's what matters to me more. I apply a different mental criteria, if you like, to the two.
Okay. So you're relaxed about the transition period, and your attention is mainly focused on the future arrangement. So how quickly do you think we can get the agreement on the transition period?
Oh, I would expect it before the end of March. It wasn't said in terms, but it was pretty much intimated in the Council's instructions in December.
So essentially within the next sort of 6-7 weeks?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, next 8 weeks, yeah.
How many meetings have you got on it within that period?
No, not organised yet, none. We've already started. We've had as I said to the Chairman, the DEXU staff were in Brussels last week and are there today. Indeed, Ollie Robbins is there today as well with them. And we're looking at a whole series of issues related to them. I mean, one of the things Ollie's looking at is the question of ongoing membership of all of the various Europe to third country international arrangements. So we're working on the technicalities at the moment just to accelerate the process.
Okay, and how long do you expect it to last? Do you think Barnier is right that it's the end of 2020?
Well, we'll talk this through with them. I mean, I'm relaxed. We think about 2 years. We said about 2 years. That was not plucked out of the air. It was partly to do with bank regulatory expectations, how long it would take to accommodate changes and so on. It was partly to do with what we thought we could do in terms of minimum time to get to things like border controls to the right position. And the bit that was the weakest estimate, or at least the one for which we don't have much empirical data, is how quickly it would take other countries to accommodate. But 2 years looked about right for a practical point of view. 2 years is also about the time that other countries, some other countries, some parliaments of other countries, and indeed the European, some members of the European Parliament, not all of them, think that this ceases to be an implementation or transition period and starts to be something else, whether it's an extension of membership or whether it's a new trade deal. And that triggers all sorts of problems. If we see it as a new trade deal rather than as an implementation period, we're into mixed agreement territory, and we'll be at the end of the transition period before we're at the end of the agreement. So there are a number of reasons which say about 2 years. Now, sorry, you asked about 21 months. What the Commission and Mr. Barnier have said is they want to conclude in sort of Christmas 2020. The reason for that principally appears to be that's the end of the MFF, the financial framework. Now, that's one convenient date, and I can see that, and actually it's got some conveniences for us in some respects. However, in other respects, it might be more sensible to go for the subsequent March, because actually that fits exactly with the grace period we've agreed for European Union citizens, and so it would avoid any sort of clumsy interregnums in that. But bluntly, it's not going to be a deal breaker one way or the other. We will have an amicable conversation about it, and we will come to a conclusion somewhere between 21 and 27 months, I guess.
Yeah. And finally, you said to the chairman, obviously you have to have a clear idea of where we're transiting to.
Yeah.
When you agree the transition period. But do you anticipate that the discussions on the future arrangement are likely still to be ongoing into the transition period?
No, not in, there may be detailed issues to be resolved, but no, not in principle. I mean, bear in mind we can't even sign the thing, the deal, until we are a third country. That's a European law problem rather than a problem for us. But I expect to be there before then. And frankly, that's the logic of the strategy. If you start an implementation period before you know the outcome, it's not wholly useful to the bank that's thinking about whether it transfers or not, or the pharmaceutical company that decides what it's going to do about its research arrangements and so on. It needs to know, at least in substance, the bank needs to know, is there going to be a financial services chapter or not? So that has to be decided. Is it going to be substantive? Is it going to cover asset management? Is it going to cover retail banking and so on? So those things need to be decided by then. Otherwise, the thing doesn't work.